U.S. campuses still grappling with anti-Israel protesters. At GW, the statue of America's first president still remains defaced by the agitators. Meanwhile, in Texas, Governor Abbott's vowing divestment will never happen as protesters demand a boycott of companies tied to Israel. And a Columbia Law School student, or law school group, I should say, reportedly declaring, quote, "No Jew is safe until everyone is safe, and no Jew is free until Palestine is free." Our next guest went to Columbia Law School. Robert Charles served as Assistant Secretary of State under George W. Bush, and he joins us now. Good morning to you, Robert.
Good morning.
Good morning. So I'm seeing this huge Palestinian flag being put up on the GW campus. Do these protesters actually know about the real history of this conflict and what Hamas is a terrorist organization. How could they do this in America?
Yeah, so it's a disgrace for starters. And I think we all know, common sense, that appeasing lawlessness only escalates lawlessness. I also would suggest that these protesters need to remember that there is no First Amendment protection for civil disobedience, and there certainly isn't for uncivil disobedience. So, it's ironic. A school is especially a place under a case called Tinker v. Des Moines. There's a very clear rule that says if there's a threat of substantial disturbance on a campus, you can bring law enforcement in. All of these folks are obviously actually in criminal violation. There are a bunch of criminal statutes ranging from property destruction, which is obvious there, to formal definitions of assault. So it's a significant issue. And on Columbia's campus, gosh, I mean, it's an utter disgrace, to be honest. We are 3 Supreme Court justices that came out of Columbia Law School. And if you can imagine it, the threat against Jews there means that someone like Ruth Bader Ginsburg wouldn't have been safe on the campus. So I think law enforcement needs to come in. Prosecutions need to occur. 25% of those who are currently being arrested seem to be professionals paid by somebody. I think we should find out who's paying them, because the procurement of a crime is a crime, and find those groups and find those individuals and prosecute them, and they should do jail time.
Even Senator John Fetterman, a Democrat, Pennsylvania, he was saying that protesters are working against peace. Listen to this.
I will say that these kind of protests haven't been helpful, and ironically, they are actually working against peace in Middle East as well. And it's also very strange to me that now they're not actually protesting for a ceasefire now. And there's been a very valid ceasefire that's been on the table now, and Hamas has been refused to take that on. And I don't know why we're not, if we're going to protest thing, why aren't we protesting that, demanding Hamas to take that kind of a ceasefire? And then that would end all of the trauma and the chaotic going on there in Gaza.
Robert, he makes some excellent points.
Look, it's nice to hear Fetterman saying such a thing, but the bottom line is I think we have to dig deeper. The goal of these protests, which are synchronized nationwide, is obviously to create a degree of chaos. And I think we have to ask a deeper question. Look, you don't see students jumping up and down protesting the killing of and the imprisonment of millions in China or Iran or Cuba or Venezuela. This one is one that has been carefully, I think, pre-planned and organized. And I think part of the thing we're not really addressing right now is that there are forces behind this that really want chaos on campuses. And I wouldn't be surprised if they don't want to see chaos expand beyond the campuses. So are there legitimate issues here? Yes. Should they be discussed in earnest? Yes. But the violence that occurred at UCLA, the kind of thing that's happening in Washington and New York, is really violence, I think, for the sake of violence. And it's really sad to see it, because of all places to see it at Columbia Law School is a tremendous disappointment.
A lot of people share your same sentiment here in New York. Thank you so much, Robert, for coming on and waking up early.
Of course.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.